There we go. Everything seems to be working. I'll toss my earbuds in so I can hear the game. And in the red here, we have TheMax. He has gone with Celts.
You need glasses with these Civ signs. And then down over towards the west of the map in the blue, we do have the Viper as Lithuanians.
Continue, Turkmen. Tell us about the civilizations.
So overall, I guess Lithuanians being one of the newer civs as well, did receive a couple of nerfs going in, so it hasn't been too bad for them. And then overlooking towards Celts as well, a civilization we actually did just see.
Yeah.
So again, looking for that pike, looking for that siege, kind of get off to a good start there. It's up to TheMax whether it decides to go for that one town center kind of all-in style play, get down some forward siege workshops, some forward barracks, and really goes from there.
Yeah.
And as far... I'm looking at the maps right now, and Viper's got a front goal. He's got 2 back goals to work with. It is quite open towards the back, but he can wall this off super easy. So I'm worried TheMax, if he does go for any kind of forward aggression, Viper has too many options to really work with.
Well, he does have options, but Celts have some really mobile units. And so this is a lot more open than the previous game. I really wonder if Viper's going to take advantage of the fact that Lithuanians have plus 150 food and possibly go for an early barracks, just like he did in the previous game. I like Lithuanians here. I like Celts here. I think it's even, but if it's standard play and Viper tries to go for scouts, or maybe if Max goes for the man-at-arms, I think the man-at-arms and spears can do a lot of damage. It's what I expected from Viper in Game 1, but he decided to play it somewhere a different way.
It'll be really interesting to see what he decides to kind of put that bonus food into as well. I know I've seen some crazy Drush-style openings with things as well, because he can kind of get away with it a little bit earlier. So it'll be interesting to see whether he decides to play this one quite aggressive again at the start, get himself some map control, then boom up behind it, and just basically transition into a victory behind that.
All right, so Max wasting no time pushing in his deer, and then Viper... not doing the same. Viper's actually coming forward to scout. Yeah, I'm really curious to see what Viper will do with Lithuanians. You know, the Lithuanians is probably my favorite of the new civilizations. Doesn't mean it's the strongest. Oh, man, don't even get me started. Come on, man. Don't look... Sorry, that was bad. If I say a cringy joke, you just got to keep working with it, man. Got to keep working with it. Don't be like Dave. It's gonna be fun when I cast with Dave later. But anyways, so Lithuanians start with 150 food, and I just feel like that flexibility is unique. You know, Persians are a civ who have started with 150 wood and food in the past, but.
We've also got Viper sitting right down by TheMax's board there. He's looking for some way to kind of delay him, and he's even moved the scout out a little bit. I like to think, hopefully Max saw that, but I think he might have been a little bit far away with the villager line of sight there. So Viper's looking for that kill at the moment, and he wants to make this quick.
Yeah, I mean, back to my point here for a brief moment. I feel like you can go scouts, you can go men-at-arms. When you collect relics, your cav gets extra attack. This is so sloppy from Max, but great reaction from him. Only loses a little bit of HP on that scout. Could have been a whole lot worse if he doesn't scout what Viper's going for. Because, as I said, if you have a flexible civ, you can do anything. Your opponent will not know what to expect. Whereas with Celts, what I'm normally expecting is man-at-arms play. And it's only 17 pop for Max. Actually seems to be sending a villager forward to build a barracks now. And maybe it won't be men-at-arms. Maybe Drush... Well, hold on a second. That's a lot on wood for Max.
Is also taking the gold at the front there as well. So starting to symbolize that's what he does want to go for, but I don't know, maybe he pushes forward as well, decides to drop some archeries, or probably not archeries, but decides to push forward with it as well.
Well, I mean, here's the importance of scouting, right? Viper sees the villager on gold. I also like how he's basically saying, hey, I see you. I'm not going to attack you, but I'm going to hang out there just to let you know that I know what you're going for. And so this is a Drush play again. You'll probably see walls from Max, and I have to say, I'm not expecting this. Maybe, you know, it's 2 games in a row now. Maybe it is the play, but in rated games, we've been seeing a whole lot of men-at-arms. A Viper with a very fast feudal time, a 20 total population. This is a scout build so far. Can Max get to him in time? I mean, he hasn't even made his first militia yet.
So we'll jump into the POV as well and see what everyone's up to. Always nice seeing the early game. Viper using all that macro ability of his, using all that micro ability, getting those deer in nice and quickly while he's finishing up his walls. And like you were saying at the moment, we'll swap over to TheMax as well. He needed to get those militia out, and Viper's just starting to look pretty confident behind this. But there's the cubes.
I mean,
this is what we're here for.
You are never going to see a hole in Max's walls. You are never going to see it. Max, who resigned as a Minecraft pro a couple years back, is now playing Age. No, he didn't. Okay.
Are you sure? It looks pretty similar, but
Oh, man.
I agree. For maps where you've got
It's
things
so-
like the acacia trees,
Yeah.
oh, beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, it just looks so bad. It just ruins the beauty of the game for me. But I spoke to the Finnish team, so I had an opportunity at the ECL LAN a few months back to sit behind them as they were playing and hear the militia from Max. I really don't expect him to do much. But anyways, I was talking to them about it, and it was I believe Ruben Stock who did it first. And I said, Max, doesn't it look bad? And he's like, yes, but I could see my fish and no holes in my walls. So I was like, okay, all right, whatever floats your boat. All about getting the job done. These militia are only meant to buy max time. So keep in mind, a successful drush is if you buy time for yourself. It doesn't necessarily mean you need to kill anything. And this is 4 militia. It's a surprise.
He's invested. Viper going out with a stable behind this as well, so he knows he wants to kind of get in there, poke prod, do some damage. The Max, though, does have one opening. I'm going to check it on there. You keep with the action. I'm just going to check he knows everything.
Yeah. He definitely knows that opening 100%. Is there. If he's still making militia?
Oh, our man.
So I casted a game recently where Max went forward in a team game as pocket position and went for 3 barrack Celt man-at-arms with supplies. And he almost destroyed Fat Dragon Vivi's TC. It was sick.
What a madman.
That cannot be compared to this situation at all. But sometimes casters have to talk about useless stuff. So,
and at the same time, though, cool things. We know he's got good control behind his man-at-arms as well. Being able to play against someone like Vivi as well. But like you're saying, huge investment here. And that's an extra 3 militia back at home he's sending over just now.
But in game 1, he made 3 militia that didn't accomplish anything. Here, he's made 4 militia, and unless Viper makes a huge misplay, I don't see what they're going to accomplish. It will buy him time, and maybe that's what he wants.
But Viper with these scouts right now, he doesn't have to engage these militia if he doesn't want to. He can run straight back to the Max, try and get that counter pressure in, because these quick walls are all up. Everything's looking pretty safe for him.
Yeah, I'm kind of torn on this, right? What Viper wants to do is he wants to wait till probably he gets 1 more scout, and then he can comfortably fight this. Viper is not expecting, yes, Viper is an amazing player, but he's not expecting someone to have 7 militia in Dark Age. I mean, my cousin played Age for the first time last weekend, and this is what his games looked like with the 7 militia in Dark Age. But it's going to work here with the walls, and there's another militia coming forward. What is this? So many militia. And Viper, he has not had an opportunity to go to Max's base and to punish him for this. Wait, does Viper have... Oh, that's a spearman. Look at this spearman here. He's trapped. Maybe he could convert that spear into an axe of some kind and chop through the wood. I don't know.
So, the Max right now, nowhere, he's not feudal age. He's still another 100 food from getting away from there. Got, how many militia have we got out? 7 militia on the field now.
Yeah.
And actually starting to take down the production buildings from Viper as well. He's pretty much done with the stable now, so that's not the most annoying thing in the world, but it'll break him in.
Here comes the flex. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. You see what Viper wants. Now, it's not worth it. Okay, Viper, it's not worth it. It looks good. The fans love it.
Here's the box.
But, like, so now the Palisade gates have so little armor, and they're also really expensive, so I feel like it's not worth it. But he's sending... Look, he wants a villager for each gate here. And then he's also making a skirmisher. So a skirmisher can finish off these militia if he's able to pull this off. Can he pull it off, or will Max react and make this be a bunch of wasted time for Viper? But Viper builds the gates. Max has not reacted. Now keep in mind, the militia are just meant to buy time. Is the gate going to go down?
The gate, he backs off for a second and throws up another gate behind it, of course.
All right. Well, this is going to take forever. It's 30 wood a gate. But, you know... Oh, wait! He's going to open up the gate!
Viper cracking in!
Wait,
on the other side as well.
Oh, now that... Oh, God.
Open the gate.
Oh, my goodness, Viper! Max! What is happening? Now run out! Run out! Hey,
oh! But Viper's in at the Max as well. He's got scouts in on the gold. He's denying everything.
No, and Max didn't see this.
He's got nothing there to repair.
All right, so small spoilers because I guess my game slowed down. Or Turkmen just thinks ahead. Oh, no! Max! I mean, Viper's much better off now. Viper can get some real kills here. You know what Max thinks is the solution to this problem?
Gates, walls,
militia.
More militia. Look, it adds up. It's still not even feudal as well. We're just going to add that in. We're going to be hitting about 16 minutes in game before he hits feudal. Luckily for the Max, though, he does have 2 golds over in the back there, so this front denial is not going to be the worst thing in the world. But at the same time, Militia are coming home, and they just need to figure out what they want to do in their lives now.
I mean, Viper sees that the barracks has flags, so he will know that Max is not going for a fast castle now. Max is going for feudal age play. And this can be very dangerous. This means that these militia will be man-at-arms. We'll probably see spearmen behind that. There's a lot of things, but man, how sloppy was it from Max to let those units in? All he had to do was wall behind. He was just too distracted with Viper's gates.
And that's going to happen. At this high level as well, the players are paying attention to so many things, and we're so used to seeing them play flawlessly, but in these kind of situations where there's this much going on and this much kind of wacky strategy at the same time, it's very easy to miss something as small as that. But look
you're
at this.
a little bit less brutal than I am.
I know.
I expect perfection.
The best.
If I'm looking at pro plays, Max versus Viper, no, that is sloppy. Even though I love you, Max. Sorry. But anyways, Viper will definitely need to get a bit of an archer transition in here. And he already has the range. I would expect to see him go to gold, and he's already done so. Like you said earlier, very safe gold in the back there. His base is pretty secure. Now, his Viper's eco is good because he built all those farms after the scout play. And where from here for Max is my question, because he has to break through. If he breaks through, Viper might have will have some ranged units.
And that's it. If Viper can just continue to kite them around, minimize any damage that we can see on terms of the villages, the Viper just still in a good position. He's got his second range coming up as well, so really going to be able to start to pop up into it. Like you said, gold in the back, relatively safe. Viper's just walling towards his town center, can make it hard for those militia to come through, or men-at-arms now. And here comes basically just the micro on top of this.
I honestly feel like the castle age times could be pretty similar for these players. Looking at the resources now, Viper has 400 food, 50 gold. You look at Max, he has 400 food, 300 gold. I think the difference is momentum. Viper can so easily go into crossbow in the next stage. He's starting to create a unit he would love to use. Long swords in Castle Age for Celts is just not the norm. So I think with that in mind, Max needs to make sure that he does not lose momentum, and that means a faster Castle Age time. And I just heard a market. I don't know what the default market hotkey is, but there it is. And Max will actually click up. So if he keeps these units alive, and then I think goes for Mangonels, Viper could be in a bit of trouble.
And I'm really liking the amount we have seen longswords in this tournament so far. We had an absolutely insane game with Tato and Viper going at it with longswords, and they just proved how viable they are now, which is nice, especially with supplies in the works. And right now, the Max is just using these men-at-arms as best he can to kind of keep map control. Just make sure Viper knows there's a little bit of danger out there, so he can't move out as much as he would like to, and he's stuck with all his archers at home, just waiting for these men-at-arms to break in.
Yeah, Viper, I mean, I think the key is actually the scouts in the middle, because you cannot go for infantry siege push if you build the siege at home. I really think that Viper needs to use these scouts to find the Vill. That is assuming there will be a forward villager, but I almost expect it at some point. And Max knows this is a risk. He knows there's ranged units out here. He also knows now that Viper has fletching and the scouts. It's probably dangerous for him to be out here in the first place. So he wisely is just going to run away and use that Celt mobility. Celt infantry is so speedy, man. It's great.
Couple of extra spears out for the Max as well. So like you said, being very wary of those scouts that can take map control so easily. Yeah. I think you're exactly right. As soon as the Max has dealt with a little bit of this army or knows where it is, as soon as he's comfortable, move out towards the center of the map, get some siege workshop down, and then really begin his push.
I don't see a world in where Viper allows a forward villager. Viper will know. He's played against these pushes before.
He played against it literally last game.
So spear, man-at-arms, or long swords and siege. I mean, Viper will know that a villager would need to come forward for this to be successful.
Stable at home for the Max as well.
Interesting. Well, it's actually a great move because Viper has a lot of skirmishers. So if just a few knights can help clean that up.
And siege workshop as well.
Yeah, so I have some concerns with this. Luckily, the players are relatively close. But as I said, Viper, pretty much with his map control now, is denying the potential forward. Max is getting pike. He has the man-at-arms. Does he have armor? He does have armor. I mean, that's a fight he could consider taking.
I think it's one of those things where the break-in's coming on, but if Viper can get stuck in there, get a mangonel between there as well, that's when things are going to be hard. But Viper, I think he knows it's coming, doesn't want to commit too hard. He knows his opponent's castle, knights, we've got siege behind that as well. Yeah, so he's careful enough to get out of there.
This is all before Viper upgrades these units. So there's actually a Scorpion on the way, which I love. A Scorpion, probably a little bit more successful here. These units are getting hit. Now, ranged units on DE are a bit stronger right now than they were in the past because the melee units, they bump a lot. Units block more than they did with this new pathing. But still, at the end of the day, it's skirmishers, and a Viper does not have momentum. So this is a much closer game than the first game. I felt like Viper outplayed Max. Max's strategy did not work well. I think Viper is going to need to go for something else. And what is it?
Cavalry Archer by the looks of it.
Wow.
Pops up some town centers.
Archer.
Gets into that traditional Viper style, get a little bit of a boom going behind it. But yes, Lithuanian Cavalry Archers.
I was going to check the tech tree, but then I remembered I made fun of Leary because he was looking at the tech tree, so I'm not going to. But I think they get Bracer and Chemistry. They do not get Parthian. Do they not get Thumb Ring? No, that's Celts.
Whoop. we were so smooth there for a second.
Yeah, we got this. We got this. Viper will try and use his mobility. I mean, Cav Archers can be good. I just forget because we only see, or we typically see Trash and/or Paladins. Okay, they get Chemistry, right? They get
Thumb Ring as well.
All right,
then
it's
to back
decent.
that up as well, they've got Bracer behind it.
So
he's looking good.
Yeah, I think the Thumb Ring's the biggest one. It's not the best Cav Archers ever, but it's how you use them. And you see now Viper running to the right-hand side. Max is going to have to slow this game down. He needs to boom, but he does not have fast units. So he needs to get forward and apply pressure so Viper's... No way!
Oh no, he's in.
And Max didn't
even flinch there for a second.
Oh, just passing, no. Oh, that's so bad for Max. I mean, he just gained a Phil lead. He was applying pressure forward, but now Viper is even pushing that back. The presence of mind from Viper to say, hold on, there's a hole there, I'm going to run right through is really good.
It's such a ballsy move as well, because if the Max had noticed that, getting in the town center a little bit earlier could lose a couple of Cavalry Archers on the way through. But right now, he's controlling the back of the base. We're talking about how nice it was having those golds in the back. He had that little bit of eco behind it, but Max at the moment, he's going to have to push this back.
Viper. That was so sick from Viper. Used the Mango and the Knight against the Scorpions, then proper micro against the Infantry, which is almost a non-threat now anyways. And I think that Max will eventually kill these Cav Archers, but Viper has gained some real value and some real time. Cav Archers are not cheap. Not cheap at all. Viper's Cav Archers are going to die. Actually, you might see a big old shot here with the Mangonel. Boom! Kelt Mangonel's fire faster, but Viper's micro is fast as well, so... But yeah, this is not that important for Viper in terms of kills. It's important now in terms of time and map control, because as he runs around here, as he micro-nerds here, there will be more forces coming forward. Max, expecting that, though, did have a town center in the proper position, so there's still a slight difference in the vills. The Cav Archers for Viper do die there, and now Max is going to need to push forward.
We've got Viper again doing what he does best, moving out across the map, trying to secure those relics. Monastery already down. Towards the middle, Max goes down with his own monastery as well, knows how important it could be and how easy these can go into a late game scenario. But Viper again, just looking for another way to get those cavalry archers in and just delay the Max any way possible here.
Yeah, I mean, from what I'm seeing, Viper will be on 3 town centers.
Yep.
And he's going to have most of the map control in Castle H. He needs to continue this. As he runs in here, you notice in the center there's another group coming in. That's what you have to do in Viper's position. It's not easy to play. It's much easier to play like Max is right now, where it's very defensive with a boom. But there's a downside to that. And the downside is lack of relics, lack of map control, and the fact that you're not dictating the pace of the game.
Max actually putting down 4 town centers as well, so we'll start pulling ahead a little bit in terms of eco count. But like you were saying, those cavalry archers are just so easy to move around the map. Viper just every now and then needs to get into a good position, take a couple of villager picks, and it evens it right back up as easy as that.
So we've talked about the strengths of Cav Archers and mobility. Viper having 1 relic and probably soon 2 as he goes over here. That will mean that he will get extra attack on his Cav, which is making me think, does he, as the player's micro here, and Viper will probably get a Mangonel snipe. Beautiful.
1 monk.
That's actually decent value for the Max
2
there.
monk.
Well, he lost the monks, yeah. But the CA numbers are going down. My thought is, as Viper micros down 2 more Mangonels, where does Viper transition from here? Like, Max is going to make siege and infantry, which is what he wants throughout the game. That's what Celt should do. Viper's going to need to have a big lead in Castle H because I don't think he wants Cav Archers long term in this matchup. And I also don't know if he wants to go Cavalier Knights in this matchup either. It's really tricky against Celts. But man, these kills that Viper's getting, just unreal.
He's just making such efficient trades right now, keeping rid of all those units to give Max any ability to really kind of push. The mangonels go down, he stops any kind of map control, gets rid of the monks.
Yeah, I mean, good shots here in the center. Viper's just dancing. And he sends in the scouts for the monk, and he will take it. Beautiful.
It's stunning. Like, stunningly good to watch play this perfection.
Yeah, but it's so... Again, not to take anything away from Viper here, but it's so easy to be in Viper's position right now with this Civ matchup. But it gets more and more dangerous the more he commits to this composition, and Viper needs to run out of there. This is danger territory. Viper did snipe a Mangonel, but look at the pikes and Mangonels. Viper, recognizing there's danger, will place a castle on the front of his base, though. So I really want to see the Lithuanian unique unit. Correct me if I'm wrong, that's the one that generates gold when you fight, right?
You're thinking of the Keshik?
Keshik, Latus. Latus is cheap and
Latus is the one that ignores armor, yeah.
Alright, same difference, right?
Close enough, both mounted.
So now my gameplay is not going to be as good as these guys, but the only way to test these civilizations and these units is to play. And I feel like if you go a mix of Latus and Cavalier, it can work against Halbwode, possibly. I mean, the other option, I know Lithuanian champions do not have the final armor upgrade, so you can't go for champ that comfortably. I don't know. I'm just thinking long-term for Viper here. You see the resources of the max. It is climbing. He's going to be clicking up to imp soon, and Viper, knowing that, is trying to avoid dealing with that army composition in the center and also distract the max. He's doing a good job, but Max has a huge, huge snowball coming. This is going to be dangerous for Viper.
Yeah, it's basically about just getting through the next couple of minutes and getting his transition in play. Like you were saying, it could be hard to kind of see exactly what he does decide to transition into, but we're looking at Viper. He's starting to take all the extra gold spots on the map. Yeah. He's divided up his cavalry archers so he can just be as annoying as possible and just delay against the Max as well. That's
good for Max. Nice conversion there. Didn't think he would get that one. I mean, Max has 7 more villagers than Viper. Viper has not clicked imp yet. Max will likely place another castle soon.
Straight on the hill to the north a little bit. Yep.
So, again, I ask, what do Lithuanians do after committing to Cav Archers in this matchup? They cannot continue with Cav Archers against what could be Onager and Halb. I don't think so. But Viper actually denies that castle spot for now, and this is so crucial for Viper. If Viper's going to win this game, if Viper's going to weather this storm where he has to transition, he has to keep Max on his toes. And he's doing it. He's doing it. He'll now hit the stone. Max is responding each time, but Max does not have any control.
The extra barracks get thrown down for the Max as well. He knows what he wants. Viper actually taking straight into Elite Skirmisher to begin to kind of counter this one, I guess, until the Siege Onager or even the Onager come out behind that. But that's it. It's one of those things where he could be taking up into Paladin, but against Pike Siege, it's not efficient. It doesn't really work.
I'm really impressed with how Viper has scouted in this game. He has how many relics? Monastery hot. My hotkeys are different, so doesn't he have relics? 2. Okay, he's 2 relics for now. I think he has one on the way back. That'll be 3. He sees the 4th. He has excellent scouting, and he's also prepping nicely for the rest of the game. And he's getting his unique tech. Which unique tech is he getting?
Let's have
he's getting the newer one, which is... it's all so fuzzy for me.
Totally fair, man. Let's jump over and have a look here. We want to make sure we get it right.
Hill forts? Or do you get tower shields?
So hill forts. Town center's extra range. He's got the extra town centers up. That'll be good. So I always get confused whether it's tower shields or hill forts.
Now does that work if you're not on hills? I'm serious.
Yes, it absolutely does. So it just adds the extra 3 range to town centers. So it means it's going to be a much more defensive location for all of his base, essentially. So if those pikes come in, I guess he can deal with them a little bit more efficiently.
It's relatively inexpensive. Viper has this extra gold. He has this extra gold. The power of the Cav Archers paid off in Castle Age. But now, what is Max going to have in Imp? Treb, there it is. He's teching into Halb. Viper, Viper's making Onager himself. Is that the plan here? He's making Mangonels at least. Okay.
Alright, so Viper at the moment, pretty much a ticking clock at the moment before he really needs to engage his force of the Max. Because as soon as he gets that kind of the composition he wants, which is basically just siege, help. So basically trebuchet, a bit of Onager behind it. Obviously can go into rams and things if he wants to push a little bit harder against production as well. But once that ball essentially gets big enough, it becomes near impossible to engage.
So I would almost say it's the opposite. I think Max is on the clock because he doesn't have the extra gold. Viper's snagging the relics. He's actually relocating these relics to a safer monastery. But yeah, you're right. Viper will have to deal with a devastating amount of units soon. But if Max doesn't push these resources that Viper's been collecting for so long, it's really going to pay off.
Absolutely, and that's the best thing we've seen about him. Like, we saw him take that map control so early. He knows where everything is. So, again, even if it starts looking like he's in a bit of a disadvantage in terms of the position, he knows if he just holds out long enough, he can begin to push back when it comes to a trash war.
Yeah. So Viper had perfect mobility in Castle Age. Max had an ideal Celt boom in Castle Age. Max has 15 more population now. He also has more military, and he was ahead to the Treb War. I believe Viper's castle will fall. Viper's castle falls. Now, also this castle, not in the best position for Viper, because Max could make more trebs from this hill. And again, I ask, what do you do if you commit to Cav Archers with Lithuanians in Castle Age? What is the transition? And right now, I'm not really seeing it. He is getting Cav Archer upgrades, but this is a dangerous, dangerous time to be Viper.
At this point, it looks like he's just really looking for the stall. We saw all the extra building HP upgrades come down as well, so he's really just looking for a way to hold on. That hill forts as well, 6+3 range on the town centers, so it's pretty nuts when the helps have to come all that way in. And the best thing as well, Mangonel's only 7 range, so we can actually deal with them effectively as well.
Man, props to Max. I saw him hit Viper's extra golden stone earlier. He's now on this gold, so he's not forgetting about those areas. And this is a typical Max area to build up on the side, go for a ram and halb push. He's known for his sneaky buildings. Now, he doesn't have Onager yet, so his food eco must not be quite there because he's producing so many halberdiers. And that's great micro from Viper with his Cav Archers. And you know what? Viper stabilizing a little bit more. Might have lost the castle, but there's no follow-up push for the Max.
I'd say he just doesn't have the units he wants in the right places now. He's actually getting all these extra production buildings up all across the map, looking for somewhere to push. But Viper sees the Siege Workshop. He knows the castle's there now. Road Raiders at the moment starting to come up from the Max, but he's got no real mass of them that he can work with. Viper just teching into all of his trash, and he's got the letters pretty much on the way.
This is really interesting, though. I have to say again, remember, Max is a slower civ, so for him to find these extra golds is really impressive. And that will distract Viper from the front as well. You do not see that often from a player who's playing Max's style. Max even wants to stonewall these resources in, apparently. And look, he sent a Woad Raider there. Max is in excellent form. If he's paying attention to 3 separate gold spots... Oh, Viper wants the castle here to put an end to it, but I really think Max's chances are good. My concern for him is he has not yet made a push to this gold. I mean, he killed the castle, but there was no real follow-up to it, so he's got to make it happen. I think Woad Raiders would be an excellent switch. Like Elite Woad Raider would be the way to go. Onager could possibly work. I think Viper's castle will go up here.
Yeah, he's got the skirms there to really kind of defend. A lot of pikes, though, so we might see a little bit of a delay on it, but it's going up. It's really the only way we can see here. Viper, though, starting to get the trebs of his own out, so he will be in a position here where he can start knocking down those castles from Max. And Max has just got to be careful here that he just doesn't get essentially pulled too tight across all of his different lines right now.
So we see a few of these latest, by the way. They ignore armor.
Yes.
How will they fare against Woads, I'm wondering. Viper's also making Bombard Cannon, so he has the Treb, he's the Bombard Cannon. I'm waiting for Elite Woad Raider. I think Max is waiting for it as well. He's producing a lot of helps. You gotta wonder if he should have just waited. Like, have the helps been worth it? Or should he have waited for Elite Woad?
It's just one of those hard things, though, where Viper did have the trebuchets out. He was kind of pushing the engagement.
Yeah.
Max did need to find a way to deal with it, because those castles are also important, especially as Celts needing those Woad Raiders. But we're looking at these letters right now and getting knocked out pretty quickly by the helps.
See, Guard Tower doesn't make me think that Max is confident in his mobility. It's a great way to slow the game down, but if Viper has Bombard Cannon, I'd expect that tower to be taken out. Where's Max's military? He's 31. It's kind of spread out all over. Oh, and he's going to place a castle on this extra gold. I believe he will secure that. Though Viper, oh, it's quite a few skirms from Viper.
Oh, it's so close to finish,
it's very close.
As long as he just keeps tasking the villagers on it, it'll be
fine. The thing with DE is you can't necessarily do that. Nah, he's fine. He's fine. All right, so he gets that up. The guard tower's up. Oh, and Viper's bombard cannons need to be protected. They're fine. That's so expensive. That's so expensive. It's worth it for Max to get that. Poke it, Max. Nice. I would not say that in any other context.
Also, Viper losing his trebuchets just a little bit further up in the north as well, just to give you a little bit of idea of the grand scheme here. So a lot of expensive units starting to go down from Viper, and the score is just fluctuating heavily.
It is, really. Now remember, Viper has those relics, but there's a whole lot less blue moving around. And since the castle did go up for Max, the Wood Raiders will clear out Viper's skirms. I think you're about to see a big spike for Max and a big push in the center, which is what I've been waiting for.
Still got the cavalry archers there from Viper. He's trying to find some way to really deal with this, but he's staying in that cavalry archer transition. The bombard cannon's going to be nice for pushing back the guard towers and potentially sniping any of the onagers that come out to try kind of deal with the cavalry archers. So Viper's army at the moment is going to be so micro-intensive when it comes down to the big battles.
All right, so here's a question for you. Who is in more difficult... let's see how I can word this. Okay, you know what? I'm not going to ask a question. I'm going to make a statement.
All right.
For me... I can see how Max could possibly win this game. Like, I could see what his game plan is. I can see where he's going. For Viper, it seems like he's just waiting right now. It doesn't seem like he's confident enough to push out. So that is a bit worrisome for Viper. If he's not able to find a way to push and Max is finding some success, it could be a problem. But as I say that, Viper's getting his other unique tech, which you're going to have to check because I forget.
Absolutely, it's just tower shields. We'll give extra pierce armor to the Halberdiers, but they miss out on the last armor upgrade anyway, so they're just sitting on +3.
Doesn't that affect the skirms too?
Yes, it does.
Okay, because I see that there on the skirms. That's interesting.
Yeah, it'll be 4+5.
And he's also making the latest 12+7 attack because of the relic bonus.
And even on top of that as well, will ignore all armor. Not that the Woad Raiders like really have any apart from their
and Viper's
extra,
rating the gold too. Man, it's like both players can't push, but maybe now Viper getting some important techs. Oh boy, that's not good. These are elite Woad Raiders. Elite Woad Raiders. That's what Max has been waiting for. Viper loses the bombard cannon. Man, I don't know. All I know is this is a close game. Max just spiked up in population. He's sniping another bombard cannon here.
That's just so expensive.
Is this the time? Because I've been waiting for it. I've been waiting for his push. Is this the time where he finally does it?
I think Viper's been just looking for that hold here, kind of figure out what he wants to do, wait for the composition from the Max, then push out from there. But the thing behind that means before he can push out against that, it means he has to hold. He's been putting pressure on the castle in the north. He's been putting pressure on the other side of the map as well. But there's this big hole in the middle, and we've just got Woad starting to spew through it.
Max... Can he keep this castle up? He needs to. Viper repairs the trebuchet. That's a clutch repair from Viper. That's really important. Max is also running low on stone. He will be out of stone to repair this soon. He's actually using his own treb to hold. Elsewhere, though, Max still has the golds. I don't know. I feel like Viper's in a tough position, but he just won't die. He's the new cockroach of AoE.
So from there, we do have the extra barracks getting thrown up in the middle for Max, but those cavalry archers just moving from side back to the middle, lending that support wherever they can to really just kind of switch the tide here. And castle over towards the north is so close to down, but that castle has been there for eons. Somewhere
in Norway, MBL's like, yes! He's like, make Viper the cockroach. I'm sick of that nickname. Sorry, MBL. Love you, man. It's probably not the best nickname, but it describes certain situations perfectly. Viper will just not die. And I have to say, the relics are really helping. He has... I'm not used to this. Keyboard... Can you check here? How many relics does he have? He has 2 there? Did he not have
2 in that monastery and 1 in the back monastery, so 3 in total.
Yeah. But can you stop this push? It's now Rams for Max. Woad Raiders, Halbs. Vipers, that's maybe the 4th, 5th bombard cannon he's lost. There's another one. He has no real answer to Rams right now, Viper. He's not raiding or threatening Max in any way. If Max can sustain this production and get that big ball, yeah, here he comes. He wants to push this side as well. I mean, this is danger territory for the Viper, and it could be Max's way back into this series.
Absolutely. Like I said, Viper was just trying to get that hold down. He's been fighting on a lot of fronts. He's just been waiting for one of them to crack. But the Max just keeps moving through the middle here, but it looks like it will get cleaned up again by the cavalry archers.
So I've had some big issues with Max. He would send in something, he'd do something really good. I would say it's really good. And then it just stops there. So if that's the case, if he's not able to get follow-up armies, I really think he needs to be more patient. Because now he's at 30 military again. So maybe be patient. Viper's not threatening you. Well, Viper's trebbing on the right, but... just wait, because I continue to expect more Rams and Wodes and more Rams and Hounds. It's not happening, and then Viper bounces right back. And Viper, actually, a way to come back into this game is start taking out the flanks from Max. He worked on taking the castle out in the north. He's now working on taking this castle out in the south. If he does that, then maybe he can raid here with those stable units. Where is it, Max? Where is it, dude? You have 145 villagers. Is his eco imbalance? No, he has food.
Man, Viper's just getting so close to pop as well. Less villagers, so he's up to over 70 military now. He's just been draining Max of everything, and like you were saying, all those small pushes from the Max, units just dying, not getting anywhere.
Yeah.
It means Viper's been able to get into this situation now where essentially we're just waiting for him to crack one of the flanks and then move in from there.
Exactly.
He's just probing for weakness.
But I think Seadram could make the difference. I've loved how Viper has used the latest against the Rams every time. With the 12+7 attack, they do really nice damage. But with this many Seadrams, if Max has the follow-up with Wodes and Halbs, which he does not, and it's really frustrating me, then he could push this castle. These things produce pretty quickly as well, I believe. The latest. Max, where are the Wodes, man? Where are the Halbs? There they are.
A lot of me wants to ask, though, if it ignores the -3. Like, just out of curiosity, because I actually don't know that fact.
What'd you say, sorry?
On the battering rams, they've got -3 melee armor.
Yeah.
I don't know if it ignores that or not. That'd be really interesting to know. Try Murakanye or someone. Hook us up with that info later.
Yeah, I mean, all I can see is that they have 12+7 attack and the Rams die pretty quickly.
No way!
I don't care. I don't care about anything else. I just care about what happens in the game.
So again, those siege ramps just looking for somewhere to do some damage here.
Yeah.
Cavalry archers, skirmishers, they're going to whittle away slowly, and TheMax actually backing up with them as well. Trebuchet coming forward for some reason, though, and that just feels a little bit game, but sure, why not? Go for it.
It's a worrying sign, man. This has been the theme. Viper will not die. Max will not kill him. I mean, if Viper loses this game, he's going to say, I played fantastic.
I did everything I think I could.
It was, exactly. I held on for a very long period of time. If Max loses this game, he's going to say, I should have won.
Absolutely.
I was in a winning position with siege ram and infantry, which is what you want as Celts. I should
Castle
have
on the
won.
south does go down as well, so Viper has cracked one of the flanks now. Halberdiers are moving into the wood line of Max.
Yeah. It's falling apart for Max. It is falling apart. This is not good. This is not good in a best of 5 either. For your confidence, he'd go down 2 games. Well, that was interesting. Thanks, DE. But a Viper swoops in with light cav, and he will not snipe that trebuchet. And the siege rams do finally make it to the base of this castle. They might swap sides a little bit here. I'm really interested to see what Viper's able to do on the right-hand side. I see Max is upgraded to keep, which is a nice move.
And again, Max just trying to even out the flank situation at the moment. Looks like he should hold this relatively well. He's got the trebuchet, 3 siege ram there. So Viper doesn't have a lot of answer to that right now. And so much of his army is just choked up.
And so much of his army died to the castle on the right and the keep. Is this it? I want it to be it. I want this to be 1-1 if you can't tell, because Max has played well. I think he would deserve it. Viper's played well, but he's at a disadvantage, civ-wise. Oh, and the siege ram clutch snipes the bombard cannon. It's not the first time we've said that. Max, you have the population lead now. You have 30 more population. You just need to get units to accompany your rams. That has been your biggest weakness throughout this game.
He keeps throwing extra production up behind this push as well, so he can just keep getting units in there. With Viper, again, microing those cavalry archers best he can to deal with the halbs. But look at this, though. The Max taking that extra bit of gold up on the north, just a little bit fire up on the battle. It just makes things so easy for him to have a little bit of that extra resource in there that he can really start to abuse.
Hitting and running in Castle Age is fine, because there's never going to be a game-ending push if you run back to your base. Hitting and running in the Imperial Age is a bad sign because, well, at least when you're running back into your own base, right? Because your opponent's trying to finish the game, you're only surviving. I really think that Viper's only way now is with Hussar raids, because he has to use his mobility more. That's the one advantage he has. So I'd like to see, as he pays attention to this gold, man, they've swapped this gold hundreds of times, but I'd like to see Viper get some Hussars into the farming eco. I'd like to see Viper sneak villagers and build stables in the corners. There's a lot of areas for Viper to run in. I'm surprised he hasn't done it yet.
He's doing a really good job in terms of the Max as well, kind of trying to lay out his base. He's got all those castles around the outer perimeter, but once you're kind of in the back there, it's just town centers and farms.
Man, Max's follow-ups. I mean, it's a combination of Max not following him quick enough and Viper just holding. holding on. Because again, you know, he had a 30 population lead. Now Viper has just as much, and Viper has, if anything, he's ahead on this side, right?
Yeah, but look at that unit queue we've got there from Max as well. There's just so many units ready to pop. Viper, not exactly struggling, but the Max has just got so many production buildings down, this huge bank of resources it can keep dropping into. Viper's starting to dwindle a little bit more behind this, so as long as Max keeps up the push, he should be in a good spot.
Viper needs to hold here, as he has been doing, and get units into Max's eco. If he gets 5-10 Hussars into the eco, if he can afford the population space, it's huge. And we've seen the danger in just sitting back, so I'd like to see him... In fact, I'm very surprised he doesn't have stables on the other side of the map, and that he has not tried to send Hussars to these woodlines yet. Really, really surprised.
He's tried to sneak a couple through, but hasn't really got past the castles yet.
Yeah.
So that does make things a huge issue for him to actually be able to keep getting away from this front. Because the Max is basically just kind of moving forward when he's got enough army, then pulling back to the castle.
So I don't know how loud the music is for viewers, but it's just funny to me. We're like, brutal battle, brutal best of 5, and then the music's just so happy. Yeah. It's war is fun, guys. War is happy. Let's go. Yeah, there it is. There it is. That's what I've been waiting for. Viper even wisely pulling over skirmishers to possibly snipe any helps. Now, his units did not engage initially, and Max reacted to it, but I think that's what he's got to do.
Yeah, it's just about whittling down that economy at the moment, making sure the Max just can't keep putting up in the fight. Because in the middle there, or more towards the north of the battle now, they're just continuing to throw just units into the fight, into the scrum. And whoever stops producing first is going to lose ground. It's a matter of taking that ground, drop down more production buildings, and then keep pushing.
The Lithuanian skirms have done an amazing job for Viper in this game. That unique tech on them, the extra speed, or is it extra speed, extra armor?
Extra armor.
I think the extra speed is a team bonus. But the armor's paid off, or just the lack of World Raiders from Max.
Behind that as well, another thing to remember from the last patch, if you haven't thought about it. Oh,
sorry.
It's just important, do it.
I saw the Ram get a kill, but anyways, continue.
Just noting as well that Hussars did lose the relic bonus as well, so not as overpowered as they used to be. So still going to be able to do good damage, but nowhere near as bad as it used to be.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, we're past an hour. Casters have already said what needs to be said. It's just a matter of saying it in different ways.
But we're just moving up to the north there, kind of getting a little bit more, I guess, area, like you were saying earlier. Throw up some extra stables over there, start just spamming in the Hussar. It's really Max, just got to hold this area, and if he can't, it's game over pretty quickly.
There's been so many opportunities, so many times where I have said, Max, this is your opportunity, and Viper has held on, or Max has just not had enough to finish him off. And so it's starting to feel inevitable now. As Viper begins to raid the wood lines, use that speed we know he has. Even though Max has the population lead, I haven't seen enough to really have faith that we're going to see a big ram push. And remember, Max does not have the gold to make a lot of Wood Raiders now, because he doesn't have the relics. And he also... Rams are not cheap.
No.
So if it's just Halbs versus Skirms Hussars, I think the Skirms Hussars would be better.
Viper's even starting to get his own Rams out now as well, so we will be able to start pushing back this production. It's just a matter of who can hold it the best, and like you've said already, it's just waiting at the moment to see who's the first one to drop some ground and if the momentum carries on.
Viper has a whole lot of food, 1,600 food, and I'm seeing the text come in now for infantry, so he will possibly consider going for champion. Yeah, Lithuanians do get champion. Champion will be an even better move against the two-handed swordsman. It's crazy to me how high Max's population is. I refuse to believe he has 200 population now. Yeah, here are his resources. I think he needed more Woads earlier. The Woad Raiders would do very well against those skirms. Here, just a few of them are doing well. Max has 30 more pop. Where is it, Max?
He's down in that south corner as well, trying to push as much as possible.
Yeah.
But between that, he's just slowly taking a little bit of ground, then being forced back.
Man, they're both cockroaches. No one will die in this game. I wanted Max to do it. I wanted to see the 1-1. Then I wanted Viper to do it because he was at a real disadvantage when he was transitioning to Imp. This is so close. This is so close. What happened to Viper's pop, though? Did he lose eco?
Still 108 villages across. Doesn't look like he's been really touched too badly there. Only red dot in his base is a barracks, so people can stop complaining about not showing that off.
I'm thinking he might have deleted some pop, like deleted some vills for... Nah, that wouldn't make sense. I don't know, but it's 200 pop for Max.
And that's where this is really going to start making that difference. Take that area we were talking about. He keeps just trying to drop more and more production buildings in it, really kind of cementing it as his, more trips in the front line.
There it is. There's some Hussars into the farms. Now, Viper hits probably the worst area of the farms first because there's a castle there. Sorry about that, but I wanted him to do this. Should target the Woad first. He's probably focusing on other things. Wow, Max reacts instantly. That's what I wanted to see. This is what I wanted to see from Viper. That's what you expect from him. Viper's at 140 pop.
It's going down so quickly. He's got a lot in the queue, but at the same time, he needs to get that population back up. In the queue doesn't help you. Right now, Max is pushing from pretty much every which way. He's just massing up more helps in the south for another push against that castle.
You know what?
Towards the north, he's doing the best he can up there as well. Just hold.
They're running out of areas for wood. If you look to the Max's corner where he is getting hit by one Hussar, this is what one Hussar can do. You don't look, and then all of your eco dead. I mean, this could go a long way for Viper. But anyways, there's not a lot of areas for them to chop wood. Viper's only area is here.
Yeah, I'm more worried about Viper than I am the Max in this situation.
I mean, I've also said that a lot. But yes, Max finally, is he gonna do it? 195 pop. That TC, what is that TC range? It's a longbow TC. I've actually never seen this tech in use before. That's ridiculous.
Lit Woad Raiders in the eco
crazy
as well, trying to find whatever they can, knock off that villager production, any kind of military production with the eco there from Viper.
Max just wants the
population down 140. It's just a matter of outmassing him and making sure he can't pop back up in time. And it's just a spearhead in the middle of Viper's base right now that he just does not have what it takes to deal with.
I don't think two-handed swordsmen are going to do it. The elite Woad Raiders are way better. Wow, is Max finally doing it?
Relics are out now as well.
Yeah, 2 of the 3 relics are out. Celt Halb so quick, Woad Raiders so quick. The spam will continue for Max. Man, Max is at 85 military, Viper's at 20 military. There's no way back now. There's no way back. Viper held on. He doesn't have the resources to catch up in population. He does not have the resources to make another 50 units.
And that's it. It's just a wave of red now flowing straight through Viper's base. Viper, he can clean this up, but by the next time he does, he's going to be so low on population.
Yeah.
The next wave from Max will already be there, ready to go. This is a GG.
And you have to say, sick play from Max. We saw it in early imp, but we didn't see it for a while, where he splits up his units like this. He doesn't just have one group. He has 3 or 4 groups in separate areas. And as he's doing that, he's probably going to produce from here to hit this area, which he has not hit yet from Viper. It is like... There's just blinking lights all over the minimap for Viper, and that magic number of population that you normally reside at is 100. He knows for sure he's out. He doesn't have the relics. Max finally wins. It took so long, but he got the job done.
And that's all that matters here. It is evened up to a 1-1. Could go to an all-game 5 series at this point. Max really showing how strong he is in terms of his play. Delaying a little bit in the center there with his kind of initial push.
Yeah.
But he managed to eventually stomp through what was left of the Viper.
I'm trying to think about what Viper could have possibly done different, and the only thing that comes to mind is earlier raiding.
Yeah, raid a little bit earlier,
for too long.
Use that little bit of a distraction and knock down some of those castles, take some of the middle map control back, and then push out from there.
I agree. So here's the difference in the economy. You can see the difference between Celts and Lithuanians. 63,000 food collected, 58,000 wood collected from Max. Viper had more stone and more gold, but that was not enough to make the difference there. 99% of the map was explored by Viper, so he knew where he could possibly raid. And then Max had 95% of the map explored. That was a grind. That
159 villages at one point there for the Max as well.
Man. Ay. Like, I thought Max was going to throw. I thought Viper was going to throw. It was just all over. What a good game.